Hi guys, this is a module on topic tailored sharing, and what we're going to do is talk about what topic tailored sharing is, why are we using it, what are its benefits to your approach to the committee, then how can you best manage your sharing in accordance with demands of your topic, what are the types of the topics, and how should you steer your committee work and team building in accordance with them. So, first of all, topic tailored sharing would mean making it all about your topic, connecting regular parts of sharing such as team building, some methods you use in the transition or something like that to your topic issue. That makes delegates think much more about what actually is the full scope of your issue, and they generally engage with it more. Also, it can be inciting favorable skills in a committee. This approach is focusing on the demands of the topic. This means that you're basically determining your committee mindset and making delegates think in a specific way which would suit your topic. So we are using topic tailored sharing to incite certain traits in a committee that suit the topic, which would result in delivering the most favorable outputs for certain type. So this makes the committee work and the complete working process much more target-oriented and easier for identification of key discussions during committee work and better drafting the resolution that is in line with expectations of the topic. The first step in choosing methods that would suit your topic is topic analysis. When you, as a chairperson, do a topic analysis, don't focus on the specific issues, but what our general role in this topic is and what kind of delegates input do we need. So have in mind that your methods and approach should be dependable on the topic status quo. For instance, some topics have no legal framework yet, and some should be altering the already existing ones. These two types require different approach of the committee and yourself. So also have in mind that you should be fitting your topic into few general frameworks. For instance, some topics are very technical, require a lot of research and a completely new legislation. So this would be like 3 sub-points of your topic, and when choosing a method you should be focusing on those 3 ones. Apart from this, there are 3 types of topics where your issue should fall under. So those are strategic, conflict and creative ones. But have in mind that your topic can also be a crossing of more subtypes. So have in mind to combine some methods that are useful for both of them. First ones are strategic topics. Those would be the ones falling under AFCO, EMPL, ITRE, for instance, or Econ. And what is essential for them is the need for understanding and overview of different time horizons and stakeholders. So what this requires is prioritizing of actions, thinking about effective implementation, and having in mind the bigger picture and complete solutions. So your general sharing focuses should be making delegates agreeing on the end goal, what makes their work more purpose-oriented, and visualize actions and stakeholders, just to have in mind what is going on in the discussion at all times. Second ones are conflict topics. Those would be the one often falling under FEM or DRA or LIBE, and What you should have in mind about these topics that there is often an issue with time and planning, because it is hard to determine how much the delegates are gonna, how much time the delegates are gonna need to resolve a certain dilemma. And what might help you with this is making them align for one of the values. So on the beginning of the committee work, you should do a brief discussion on what value of in this topic should be most relevant for you, and and align all of your solutions and like generally the resolution with the value. This is going to make your resolution much more cohesive, coherent, and minimize the chance of being contradictory. There is also a need for having in mind the full spectrum of the topic and not just focusing on the fragmented parts. What might help you as chairperson is active listening at all times, so you can properly intervene and choose further methods for development of their thoughts and ideas. What these topics require is a lot of pre-session chair preparation. So you should try to predict possible paths a committee might take, make it visual, try to think of what are the potential dilemmas in your topic, and try to figure out as much as possible how to resolve these dilemmas and what might be general ideas for the solutions. The last ones are creative topics. These require a new innovative solutions and can be either dealing with something completely new or a long existing problem, and they require a lot of thinking out of the box and building up on the new idea. What you as a chairperson should be having in mind is that creative environment from team building should be prolonged also in the committee work to ensure the maximum potential of delegates' ideas are used. Also, that innovative ideas should be still effective and feasible, and for that you should be connecting already existing elements with delegates' new visions. So now we're going to go through the team building for each kind of the topic, and then through committee work for each kind of the topic. So team building should be carried out as choosing games that incite development of certain skills, and you can also be adjusting games to the topic. So first, for strategic topics, the most suitable are the ones that involve many stakeholders and focus on their connection and interactions, for instance, like Broken City. Also the ones that require prioritizing of actions, such as, I don't know, Plane Crash. And the games that require strategy development, such as the Bomb Defusal game. For conflict topics, you should be having in mind that practice on argumentation and clear phrasing of some point or a claim should be your focus, because that's where most of the conflict and misunderstandings in the committee work happen. So also you should be dealing with games that reveal personal stance, games with moral dilemmas, active listening games, communication games, or you can do a module on argumentation and clear phrasing. Also, the zero-sum games are going to help you a lot in creating your committee environment. And those are the games where one wins, the counterparty is at loss. Also, after all of these topics, extensive debriefing is required. So, in creative topics, you should be including topic key elements such as keywords or stakeholders, to ensure more engagement of delegates with the topic, thus more ideas. So this can also be used as a transition method. What are you striving for and want to achieve during the team building is the thinking outside of the box. So try adapting games or giving delegates less framework so they can engage more and have their ideas taken into account already in the team building. Um, Also, little framework is giving space for innovation and maximum inclusion of their ideas, or you can let them create their own game. But also, it is essential that you play a lot of trust games to make sure that everyone is comfortable with sharing ideas, because these ideas hopefully aren't going to be too conventional. When we are talking about the committee work, for strategic topics, it is extremely important to set a clear end goal at the beginning and develop and define potential strategy paths that could achieve the end goal. And then you can decide on one and get more in detail and develop on specific plan for that strategy path. Also, for each segment of the plan, you should set a time horizon, which must have clear object. Also, you should start with longer time horizon aims and use them as a basis for shorter time horizon aims. So here what you're going to use most likely is the prioritizing of objects, what can be done by Eisenhower box. So here it is. Also, there is a great importance of visualization of stakeholder interaction and their connections. You can do this in advance during the pre-session preparation of delegates, for instance, like giving them to make mind maps. Also, have in mind that you're gonna have to make a lot of timelines and things like that to manage time horizons. What can you do prior to this session is also making delegates think about and research on why are the existing measures inefficient. For the conflict topics, the transition from team building to committee work can be very useful because you can make a vision of your resolution and make delegates always all agree on it, because that will make them avoid fundamental disagreements on what actually do you strive for. And also, it is important to often sum it up to keep everyone on track, because in the discussions it is very easy to get lost. And when I was waiting on fundamental questions, you should make them visualize the pros and cons. Also, you should set a lot of why questions, because that's how they're practicing argumentation and crystallizing the conflict issue, which might be extremely helpful during the committee work. For creative topics, it is extremely important to keep the creative mindset from the team building, remain as positive as inciting, and it is important to visualize the topic, what can be done also in the pre-session preparation. You should use methods that incite alternative type of approach, such as what-if scenarios or increasing the amount of possible outcomes. Also, you should make connections with existing elements and reality checks for each idea. You can also allocate this to one of the delegates if they are silent or something like that. So that's how they're balancing feasibility and many propositions they make will be feasible to some extent, but not completely. So focus on adaptation, polishing, and improvement of those ideas and their upgrading. And also have in mind effectiveness of the issue of their propositions at all times. So the main focus of your committee work should be brainstorming, because that's when most of the ideas are made. And you should use multiple types to suit all the delegate types. And for them to remain innovative, you should be too. So don't be scared to improvise, because it might have a great effect on your delegates. Also, to minimize the need for your intervention, create more productive and creative mindset is helping delegates find themselves a role they feel most comfortable in. You can do that by the Mono method or any other that you can think of, because it will really make them much more autonomous and actually minimize your input and maximize their innovation. Also, as I already said, to keep the delegates as innovative, you should also be innovative. So you can start that already during the pre-session preparation, while providing materials for research or giving out creative tasks for them. So these are only general guidelines on topic tailored sharing, and have in mind that each topic is open for improvising with methods, especially the creative one. But make sure that methods you choose have purpose regarding the impact on further delegates' approach to the topic. That would be it. I hope this was informative and useful for you. Also, everything is drafted in the Drive document, so feel free to ask questions, and the board and myself would be very happy to answer it.